name Metis actually refers to ancient Greek goddess of wisdom and craft.
It's actually not just layer 2.
Human first and AI is the helper.
Talking about the Vitalik Buterin. Good day everyone and welcome. It's Wesley, Head of Partnerships at SwapSpace, crypto exchange aggregator, and today I'm also going to be your podcast host, and we're welcoming today two brilliant human beings from Metis team. Natalia, Decentralization Coordinator, and Elena, Ideologist and Co-Founder. Ladies, I want to give you a room to present yourself, and we're good to go.
I will let Elena to start as a co-founder. She has more rights.
Amazing, thank you. Hi guys, my name is Elena Sinelnikova. I am a co-founder of Metis. Also, me and Natalia were co-founders of CryptoChicks, which is education for women and kids in crypto and AI. In Metis, we've been around for over 5 years in the industry, building layer 2, and now we are into our journey of basically building an infrastructure for AI on-chain where everyone gets paid and everything is fair.
I'm Natalia Ameline. I'm a Decentralization Coordinator at Metis Foundation. They're also co-founder of CryptoChicks, as Elena mentioned. In the foundation, our key focus is to drive value and innovation across our ecosystem.
Brilliant. Ladies, appreciate you. Highly appreciate you. And let's deep dive into the questions because I prepared a couple of those. So thinking about, okay, a lot of people who are going to be joining us and viewing us today, basically not so technically deep, I assume, in the blockchain field, and just in easy words. So Metis is often technically described as a layer 2 solution. So, and for all of this not so much techie, not so much in crypto audience, so beyond the white paper, what's the fundamental human or I would say economic problem did you initially set to solve by creating the Metis? Why you decided to build your own universe out there?
Thank you. When we just started the project, we had this view of the world in mind that everything is owned by the very centralized corporations, and it's actually projected on the blockchain world, unfortunately, as well. So therefore, we wanted to build as much as a decentralized network as we could, so people and businesses could use it, without being blocked or censored or told by anyone that they cannot do, and that was the premise of the Metis layer 2. We chose a layer 2 because we wanted to be on Ethereum, as we believe that Ethereum is still the most decentralized, and also it could be lots of things can be built upon. We also introduced decentralized sequencers as the layer 2s, as you know, by its nature, they are centralized, so we didn't want to be centralized. So decentralized sequencers provided us this, decentralization, and we then turned into our kind of a use case of what is the most important in this decentralization today, and this is decentralization of AI.
Elena, and right now you just mentioned the thing that it's not only for regular human beings, it's also for businesses. And absolutely. Back in the days when we thinking about what was the vision for businesses in the Metis and how it's changed right now, maybe you can highlight a couple of points here and there.
It's, the change right now is only in the focus, because majority of the infrastructure we support decentralized businesses whatever industry they're on, but we right now is just a change focus on to AI and AI creators more, because I think this is the most important in the nowadays.
Yes,
and I would like to add that, we mentioned, we both stated that we're decentralization coordinator. So even in title, it suggests how much focus the foundation and the community places on decentralization. So that's always been our fundamental value. And whatever we're always building it through this prism. How do we make sure that the credible neutrality, which is one of the biggest promises and values that blockchain provides, is entrenched in our products and the services and the platforms that we provide?
Totally get the approach, actually. And coming back to the roots, and I would say I want to be a bit historical in here. So the name Metis actually refers to ancient Greek goddess of wisdom and craft. So how is this wisdom, underlying the word wisdom, embedded in your blockchain architectural or maybe overall philosophy out there? Because you definitely had something in mind during creation of this beautiful name.
Absolutely. Yeah, when we thought wisdom, we were looking into the future, of kind of like predicting the future, what is going to happen with our world. Yes, and given that all the power eventually will be into people's hands. That's the world that I want to live in, and that's what the world that I believe in. That is, the wisdom of providing the proper, infrastructure and safety measures for that future. That is so basically what the wisdom is. It's just predicting the future.
It's awesome, and we're coming closer and closer to this future, I assume. So, and before our meeting, I was reading a couple of articles regarding the future of Metis, I would say, and like the future milestones that you actually planned in there. So, and I'm talking particularly about the regenesis. Could you please give us a big picture, maybe in general words, what regenesis is for a general audience, and maybe for me specifically, I would love to learn what problems does it address and make like better blockchain solutions.
Yeah, so the regenesis has been an idea that we have been thinking about for a while, and it's really a rebirth, the way to think about it. So as Elena was describing, we started out as a layer 2 solution, but we are carefully observing everything that's going on around what new challenges and opportunities the new developments present. As you know, the AI entered the world fast and furious, and we've seen a lot of trends there that we are not necessarily thinking are the move in the right direction or require some more thoughtful or wisdom approach. And we started thinking about what we can do to create the world where AI economy is fair, provides the fair rewards for everyone, and also is decentralized at the same place start. And looking introspectively, we see, and retrospectively, we see that at the time we didn't have the foundational pieces for the AI to be on-chain because of limitations that major blockchains had. And for example, lack of speed. We cannot, if you look at Ethereum, we have a block produced every 8-10 seconds, but it's not sufficient for the finality that is required for the AI. Hence, through analysis of that, we understood that we need to make some changes. And that was the beginning of the rebirth. So essentially, regenesis is not just an upgrade, right? It's the way for us, for our ecosystem, to transform into new infrastructure, which is more modular, more decentralized, and that is ready to support the applications in the era of AI.
Gotcha, Natalia. So you're approaching this more as a transformation of what's happening inside of the ecosystem, and talking about maybe some other project, because no innovation comes without some new crazy ideas, I would say. And maybe you can tap into a couple of sectors or thriving projects out there in the Metis ecosystem today. Tell us about them and maybe how they supporting each other and a bigger picture and bigger vision of the Metis.
Yeah, we started, Metis is known as a layer 2, but it's actually not just layer 2. From the Metis Foundation, a number of projects spun off, and they're all foundational infrastructural projects that right now we are actually bringing under sort of one umbrella because it's the right time. For some time they were building independently. For example, we can talk about things like Hyperion, which is the layer 2 super fast blockchain, which becomes part of our final modular infrastructure and acts as our scalability layer because it can provide the super fast finality and very high throughput that I was talking about, right? Or we can talk about the ZKM, which is another project which is really science-focused and working in the environment of creation and forward thinking on how the zero knowledge proofs are going to function and how they are helping us to make AI provable. Because one of the issues with AI today is nobody knows where the data came from, how it's been used, where is it going, and this is one of the challenges. And with that technology, we are now able to make AI provable. So, and another example could be our Bitcoin layer 2 solution. And in that case, by unifying all of that and bringing it all together, the GOAT network, which is this Bitcoin layer 2 solution, gives us the interoperability into the Bitcoin ecosystem, liquidity improvements, and so with all of that now combined, is we're finally starting to people can start to see crystallization of that vision that we originally had. And I think the 2026 would be very cool in this perspective because that will be the year to take it to the next level and really kind of start shaping up what the future AI economy looks like.
Totally get it. And we're going to come a bit later to the 2026 point because it's, particularly for me, it's a super interesting one. And as a person who also working in the blockchain field and field of Web3, I'm curious to learn a bit more about your work, your roles, because you mentioned a lot of projects that are actually operating in absolutely different directions, connected with data, connected with the blockchain itself. And what I'm curious to learn, in which of these projects both of you are directly involved, or maybe you can name like specific roles, what you actually working in there on.
For me, I am involved in Metis Foundation, which is, as I mentioned, a sort of umbrella project, and that's, the kind of overall governing body of the ecosystem in some way, right? But I am directly involved with LazAI and the Metis.
Yeah, and as for me, I am, of course, Metis Foundation, and in the foundation, my role is the ideology for the regenesis and for Metis layer 2 being right now is the human first and AI is the helper. Because nowadays, I see lots of entities, people that use AI, a little bit forget that AI is still just a tool. And you cannot put a responsibility. So whatever we do with AI, humans are still accountable. And humans, it all comes back to humans. So it's not some magic, thing that we invent and then this just does everything for us. No, we're still accountable. That is directly my role of reminding people, reminding team, and holding everyone together on that premise that, yes, AI is here, but it is just a tool. We still need to do our job. We still need to be accountable. So my role in the Metis Foundation as the ideologist, and also I am responsible for the health of the team. Like, for example, initially at GOAT and the ZKM projects, I was building a team together. When we just starting a project, that it is a startup, that everyone has their own roles, that everything is in place for people to work on, so that infrastructure and the business architecture. So this is something that I do as well, just to make sure that all people that work in the different teams and Metis Foundation projects, that they are well and okay.
Elena, it's actually a brilliant point you mentioned out there, because I think, and I'm assuming, that a bunch of people all over the world are trying to tap, as well as in crypto, as well as in entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship and team building out there, it's, I think, the core, as well as for thriving initiatives, as well as for like giants like Apple or Google. So I'm seeking advice in here. Question to Natalia. So your last name is well known in the industry. Yet you've clearly carved your own professional path separate from your sons. So is there a professional dialogue happening sometimes between you? does he ever seek like your opinion or, I don't know, some fresh developments that you have in mind, just to maybe steal some ideas or something?
My last name is Ameline, right?
Right.
Who are you talking about in terms of
I'm
that
talking about
unknown
the
person?
my bad out there. So I'm talking about the Vitalik Buterin. So curious, maybe you still like exchanging or brainstorming together in terms of the blockchain in the future.
We're definitely talking about many things, but I see my son, twice a year for a very short period of time because he's a
Great.
very busy man and he has multiple commitments throughout the world, which unfortunately means that, he doesn't see his mother as often as she would like to. When I see him, I spend a lot of time on the conversations outside of blockchain, as you can probably appreciate, because it's not something that is important to me. To me, what's important is that my son is happy, has a fulfilling life, and leads a healthy, happy life. So while conversation on all kind of topics are happening, I wouldn't say that it's blockchain debates that take precedence there.
Totally get it. I mean, it's a strong point out there because it's usually important to spend time with loved ones and not put some work inside those relationships. Definitely, totally get the point. Right now, I wanted to move forward with the year review because 2025 was crazy, I would say, and for some of us challenging yet fruitful. So what do you consider the main professional outcomes for yourself and as well as for the Metis during the 2025? If, for example, we can make a quick recap right now. Yelena, what you think?
As you mentioned, the regenesis was the theme of the 2025. We did it successfully, built a lot of technology, so that includes Hyperion. So now our layer 2 is kind of like two modular system, one layer 2 for people and one for AI. So that's kind of big and huge. Another one is LazAI network, which soon is going into the mainnet. So the testnet right now is live. So LazAI is the one that is allowing you, to tag the data and to see who gets paid, how and when and how often. So that is another milestone that we did. LazAI project, of course, is a different project and it has its own milestones, which is LazPad Fund, and everyone can create AI. So there's a lot of can be done with that one, and lots of AIs came on board onto this. And we also did, a hackathon, and we had a couple very good projects from the hackathon onto the Hyperion. Then we had, as a part of our Genesis at the end, we had this ZKM and Goat and Metis coming together all over again, and now we reunited again into our new vision of that regenesis and new AI world. So this is new AI world regenesis for Metis. It went very successful. We went a little bit away from the blockchain narrative and more into AI narrative, but that's what it actually was meant to be. Yeah, so looking forward to 2026.
Got it. I mean, I'm assuming like the whole world right now is like mostly focused on the AI. And in terms of what you mentioned, users love metrics, and I would say everybody love numbers. How did 2025 look in terms of the numbers for Metis, for the regenesis milestone, and the ecosystem in general? So was it a successful year? Maybe some numbers you can highlight in various terms, or whatever you have in mind.
We had, for Metis layer 2, the number, unfortunately, I don't have the numbers with me right now, but for your listeners, probably we can submit those and you can put it under the link. I know that we had lots of projects for our Hyperion hackathon, and lots of projects that are onboarded onto Hyperion testnet. The mainnet is not live. And by lots, I mean like somewhere like in the hundreds. So we had that many applications, and for LazAI we had that the LazBubu AI that had more than I think like 90,000 users onboarded, and that is like huge milestone for just for this one project for new AI, and it's also on LazAI and Hyperion. So these are I think these are the ones that I can remember and highlight in my head. But we'll be happy to submit the full metrics on for the Metis for this year for success. Yes.
Do you think the giants like OpenAI and so on are going to be tapping into it? Or for them it will be easier to use the existing technologies, I don't know, from Hyperion, from Solana, which is like basically which are allowing AI to work in parallel and with blockchains?
Again, giants will face the same problem of where do they get the data and how the data is being used. So they will need to solve this problem one way or the other. So they need some tracking systems of where the data come from, who it's come from, and who going to be rewarded for that. It is like I see that as an inevitable problem that people realize more towards the future. Yeah, right now AI is not used wide enough to this become a real problem. But yes, right now I know for sure that AIs are running on data that is not legally obtained. And they are getting away right now in making this data private. So basically, they're not opening the data sets. All the data sets, the training data sets for all AIs are private. They're not public. If they would be public, then lots of the legal cases will emerge. But they will emerge. And once we have one precedent of this legal case, and then the whole thing unfolds. Yeah. So they will have to use that tracking systems one way or the other. So blockchain is the perfect tracking system for that. And that's the future.
Exactly, and I want to clarify a couple of things in there. So there's one thing is technology that is not yet in there, and which we're still looking up to. And the second point you mentioned is basically the legal stuff that connected with it. So is it going to be also a big problem out there to or maybe a room for another type of lawyers, like AI lawyers, or maybe guys who specializing in this? Because it's hard for me, at least for me, to imagine how it's gonna work. It's still gonna be made by all of the underwriting for this and so on and so forth, gonna be made by humans or just slightly curated? What do you think?
Again, it's going to be, as we started at the beginning of our conversation, all accountability will come to people. AI is just a tool. AI cannot be sued. AI cannot be put in jail. So therefore, the AI going to be traced to the person that used it and that produced that result or the outcome that needed that legal attention. So therefore, it's not going to be any different. So it's not going to be AI lawyers or anything like this. It is still going to be human lawyers. Well, I mean, it's like lawyers will not protect AI. AI is not a human and will never be a human. So therefore, there will be human behind it. Same case as we saw, for example, for tornado cash. Completely, of course, unfair, but right. Person behind it still, tracked and made accountable. Same going to happen in AI as well. If you are using AI or if you built AI, so therefore, the laws are going to be, again, to find the person who is accountable. So it's not going to be any different. The earth is still populated with people. So that's.
One more question to Natalia. So personally, if you look into 2026, maybe you have some crazy, big, or maybe small idea or side project you eager to realize, because we talked about something already that are existing in the planet, like AI and all of the concepts that we discussed today. Maybe something crazy, something unexpected you want to share with us today?
I don't have any crazy, unexpected projects. If anything, I would like to do something to make the life of homeless animals better. Consider it crazy and out of this world, but this is something not blockchain. I'm assuming your question was around, doing something outside of that. So, I'm a big fan of animals, and I think some of them are mistreated. And if anything, I would like to do something to make their life better. But I don't have exactly the idea in mind yet. I'm sure something I will think about and it will materialize. maybe not in 2026, but that will be some passion project for me on the side.
Love it, love it. Animals is huge topics. I'm a big friend of any animal in this world, and as well as my dog, always in the heart. That's how it goes.
Another thing would be to see AI battles. You know, we talked about will AI sue someone or will it trace someone? I'm sure there will be AI battles. One AI will be battling the other in some significant court battles.
Exactly, exactly. Yelena, Natalia, maybe you already heard about. Recently, I saw on Twitter somebody launched a couple of AI models, which are basically fighting in the trades, like who's better trader out there, and they basically been like creating their portfolios, like with IF, with the BTC, and then just started trading. And as I remember, like the Gemini was like the one who was winning. Have you saw it previously, or?
I think I read about it, no, but I wasn't following it closely to comment on that.
I think that's kind of very obvious use case, and I think lots of projects that is doing that. It's not in the battles, but yes, the trader bots. Yes, so like we have on Metis chain, we have like at least 5 of them. Yes, but battles is interesting. So how do they do?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of interesting topics. I'm trying to in my head imagine how it would look like and what type of battles, because in the end of the day, if it's like I don't know, touching me or something on Earth, on planet Earth, it will be crazy.
I didn't see any that done better than humans yet, so.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Totally get the point. I think one last, I would say, serious question out there, and kind of personal note for each of you in here. So when you look in the future, what's the most inspiring part of the Metis mission? And as a founders, you may be afraid of not accomplishing in time.
In time of our life? In our lifetime?
Maybe as long as as long as you live, the project is living out there. So.
Yes, unfortunately, we are very kind of constrained in time, and we might not live to see of our technology being used. That can happen. Is certainly a risk. So, as I said, when the problem arises with AI running on stolen data, whatever it arises, next year or in 10 years, we don't know. Basically, how long, but it will. So therefore, there is a risk that we maybe not young enough already to work on and see the fruits of the project. But it doesn't matter, because the technology that is built is going to be built and is going to be available and is going to be available for other people to use, and that's what matters.
I think because everything changes so fast, I think it's really hard to put the goals for, until the rest of my life or something, right? I think for me, of what I really love the idea of democratization of AI, and that's the idea that Metis is trying to implement to make sure that contributors are fairly compensated this time around, unlike what happened with social media, where our data, our pictures, our videos, our posts are harvested, and then we are fed back some advertising, and we are not being compensated for anything. Instead, it's companies like Metis of the world that earn all the revenue. I think it's very disheartening, and but I guess by using the platform, you accept the terms, right? So that's how it's going to be. For that reason, I'm not really doing anything on a platform like Meta. Meta don't want to have anything to do with it. But I hope that we are early enough in AI to be able to change that. To make sure that it's not the Googles, it's not Anthropics or OpenAI, who at the end of the day will be the only benefactor of that. So for me, my big hope is that what we are building actually will be used, and by that, through the usage of that, people actually will be able to get rewarded for their contributions fairly. And speaking of the precedents, right? So there was a lawsuit against Anthropic, 1.5 billion, for training the AI on the pirated books. So the precedent is out there, though it wasn't exactly framed in that way, but it kind of came up in the court proceedings, right? So it's a huge legal a lawsuit, and I think it's the warning sign for everybody out there that, hey, this is something that may come, and you will be held accountable for that. You're not just making this huge money ultimately for through the through this stealing the other people's personal intellectual property, right? Not personal property, intellectual property. And that's how I look at the things. And again, my hope is that actually our platform does take off and we accomplish what we set out to accomplish, to make AI democratized and fair for people. At least they have this option. Again, it's up to us what we use.
It is just technology. It is, yeah. We are building a technology. We cannot rule the world, right? So that's like, don't get us wrong. But but we're doing our part in that. Yeah, we're doing our part in making this world fair and decentralized.
Exactly, ladies, I love the approach towards the future, and how you're actually envisioning things, and especially with the AI, because there's a lot of talks going on here and there, and especially what we touched like a little bit today in terms of the AI battles. It's all starting with trading, and only Lord knows where it's going, and as well as maybe in the future we see, I don't know, happy ending with all of this humanity living beautifully from the AI money. We're getting paid by, I don't know, by AI because it uses our data, but maybe it's going to be different. But definitely our core mission out there as a human beings is to make the life of people easier, more beautiful, and I would say more technologically advanced, and that's exactly what we've been working for many years in here. In terms of the questions, I think we covered most of it, and this round of applause is going to you, and definitely fruitful talk. Elena, thank you for sharing the vision and sharing some specifics about the numbers and the future plans for the Metis and a couple of other projects. And Natalia, thank you for sharing the vision, being awesome, being cool. Also shared something personal with the animal things in there. And definitely pleasure talking to you. And right now we're going to be wrapping up. It's been Wesley, your podcast host and head of partnerships at SwapSpace, crypto exchange aggregator, and stay tuned for more. Thank you.